After the ball is over, after this game is done, after the die lot's finished, and you are short just one, many a knitter has made a tearful and desperate call, pleading with their local yarn shop, go after that ball.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 406. Today is Saturday, June 13, 2020, as we are recording. I am Marlisha, also known as Lady Fernico.
And I'm Talia, also known as Franciscan Gypsy.
We want to welcome all new and returning viewers to the Food and the Woman Cave. If you are new, we're glad that you found us. We hope you find something you enjoy and that you'll stay with us. If you are returning, we're always glad to have you back with us. If you are in the shadows, either new or returning, please feel free to join us officially. Press the little subscribe button on your right and hit the little bell so you get notifications. That would be nice. And if you want to take part in our alongs and our giveaways, you want to get out coupon codes and things like that for our shops, then you need to be a part of the PHN group. And that is at phnpodcast.freeforums.net. That's phnpodcast.freeforums.net. We'd love to see you there as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
What's in your mug?
In my mug, this is what my daughter's head looks like, oboe head mug, okay? I am not drinking Plum Deluxe today. I couldn't decide what I wanted, and this is what jumped out at me today. This is our local tea shop. We do like to, when we're able to get out and about, to patronize our local tea shop, and they have something called Chocolate Monkey, which I absolutely love. Not to say that they replaced Andy, because they haven't, and you'll see that later. This is Vine and Leaf, Fine Teas and Artisan Chocolates, and this is Chocolate Monkey. And they don't list the ingredients on here, so I'll just show you this package. And I had this in the shop just before COVID hit really bad. I think it was like a week or two before that last time we went.
Yeah, it was barely a week before.
Yeah. And I had this, and it was excellent. And then I came home and I said, oh, wow, I have this. Or did I buy it that time?
No, I think that you had it. We didn't buy anything except our food.
Do you want some?
No, I don't actually care for that tea.
Okay.
I think it has banana in it.
No.
Well, I know I tried it when you had it, and I didn't care for it.
I don't taste any banana in it.
Maybe it wasn't banana.
Actually, it might have banana because it's monkey.
Yeah, I thought that it was chocolate and banana, and that was one of the reasons I didn't like it.
Yeah. And I like banana in my chocolate tea.
And I just tend not to like banana flavors. I've tried. It really has to be drowned out for me. Anyway, this is Plum Deluxe tea. This is Lady Grey black tea. An aromatic and invigorating take on Earl Grey. This is black tea, orange peel, lemon peel, blue cornflowers, bergamot oil, vanilla essence, love, and gratitude.
And that's a really good Earl Grey. The Lady Grey is a good tea.
Yes, it is. This is the first time I've had Plum Deluxe's version.
It has a little bit more of a bite than the regular Earl Grey.
You see, I never thought so. Or maybe I just liked it better than regular Earl Grey. And I do tend to like a little bit more of a bite. Sorry, there's something on my lip. Like fiber or something.
That's, very good. Okay. All right, so before we go into the main part of the show here, the episode, we were contacted by the winner of one of the prizes, and she's been winning a lot of prizes, and so she wanted to pay this one forward. So we're grateful that she decided to contact me before the podcast here. She said, "Don't take me off the rest of the list. I'm not retiring from prizes." So I said, "That's fine." So this is it was very nice of her to pay it forward. Mm-hmm. She does like the prize, but she said, why don't you pull for somebody else? So this is the prize that we're pulling for, and I already pulled for him. I saw the message just before I went to bed last night and pulled for the prize, and then I saw that she had said, hey, you got a private message. Don't forget to look at it before you podcast. So here it is, this owl bag and these crochet hooks set, okay? And when I re-pulled, the first one was me.
You don't get to win your owl
I
bag.
was so tempted to keep the bag, but I don't need it. The winner is Smiles 571. I think that's Sandra. Smiles 571. You won this for the Lady Fernicle Creations Cal. Lau, please contact me with your pertinent information and what you won. Full name, full address, and what you won. You can contact me over at PHN, a private message, and that way I can send this out to you. Okay, congratulations. And thank you to the person who was generous enough to pay it forward.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now, the 400 episode giveaway is still in the threads. You have about another week, and we've had a pretty good showing there for people who want to win that yarn. I should have probably brought the yarn out here, but I forgot. It's a very pretty red yarn, and so if you'd like to win that, an opportunity to win that, just head over to the thread. I think it says 400 episode giveaway on it. So, put your name in. I probably will pull no later than next Saturday for the winner. Okay? All right. Before the podcast, so I can announce it on the podcast. So if you might want to try and get it in before Friday midnight. Okay?
Just so you can be sure.
So you can be sure you get in there. All right. Let's see here. We did have somebody requested information so they could send charity items to us, to the pregnancy center, and I just wanted to make sure that you knew that yes, we are still collecting them. They may sit in our house for a little while until we're sure that they're accepting physical items, but they will get to the pregnancy center.
Yeah, we still take them.
We still take them. They'll get to the pregnancy center. They'll get to Evan's home eventually. And of course, with Brittany, you can talk to Brittany about Comforting Crafts, about her stuff, how she's working that, and how Kim is working the Amelia Project, I think it's called. Yeah, the Amelia Project. So if we still have all those open, and if you're unsure and you would prefer to send it to your own right now, then that's fine too. We don't care as long as babies get things, and people.
So I think she's wondering how she gets the information for the address.
Pardon?
She wanted to know.
I already sent her.
Oh, you already did. Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I already sent.
Just want to make sure that you weren't just like completely skipping over her.
No. I just wanted to bring this up.
Okay.
So in case people wanted to send us stuff for the pregnancy center or for Evan's home, just to let them know that we are still accepting that. It just might be a while till it gets where it's going.
Yeah.
And as for the, and then I want to mention the other two people because
definitely.
that's important. Okay, now, since we're halfway through June, I can mention upcoming, and these are upcoming. Okay, honestly, this time they're upcoming. Cardiac Dysautonomia is coming up July 1st, and Tortoise versus Hare is also coming up July 1st. And Tortoise versus Hare is not our baby. Tortoise versus Hare is Laura Concert's Crocheting Whovian's baby, and we have been asked very nicely to co-host, and we've been doing this for a long time. We're really excited about that, so that'll be fun. And the other thing that'll still be going on, of course, is our charity along, but that's in progress throughout the year. Okay, now, speaking of our charity along, okay, that one started January 1st, and this is the one for those of you who have never been here before or are new. I generally almost read the rules from this one, and then I just change it for the other. You may just talk about the changes that apply to the other alongs instead of just reading all the rules every single time. So this one runs January 1st through December 31st of this year. All projects must be knit, loom knit, or crocheted. Previous whips are allowed, but must be worked during the along. Okay, and that, like I said, that's pretty easy when you have a whole year. Chatter and pictures are all on the same thread. All charity projects will be accepted, including the sewn masks for the nurses and doctors and emergency personnel and things like that. They keep saying that we're going to have another resurgence in the fall of this thing, so that's going to be going on for a while, I think. Those are the only sewn items we ever accept, at least to this point, so they are eligible for prizes. In fact, they are eligible for 2 chances at a prize because they're so important for the finished object. Baby items, again, this is for all charity, but baby items along with the masks are 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. As are the Hat Not Hate hats, and I think they have to be blue. I'm not real sure what they are. I know that Linnea talks about them on her little podcast. She does several like little mini podcasts, and also Chronically Crocheting talks about them. So if you want to find out more about that, you can talk to them, or you can just look it up. It's I think they have to be blue. So you can post those for 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. If you use my yarn, Laura's yarn, my patterns, or Talia's patterns for charity, the finished object is 2 chances at a prize. And if you do the project, the featured project with the featured yarn, then it's 3 chances at a prize. And as always, you are responsible for your own multiple postings. Okay? And you guys have been really good about that. The hashtag for this is hashtag PHN2020 on Instagram. All right? And the prize that we're working for this time is a Knit Baby book and a Croy Socks FX yarn 2 skein set in the cadet colorway, and that was donated by Christina. That's 2 prizes. Okay, the knit book is one, the yarn is another. Okay, so we are very, very grateful for the generosity of our viewers and our friends. Okay, now Autism Awareness. Let's see, we're working. I've got the prizes right up in front because I thought I was going to pull from that time. 2 skeins of Encore yarn, blue and blue variegated, so that's 2 total, is 1 prize, and a skein of Knit Picks Hawthorne Fingering, speckled blue, gray, fuchsia. That's also a prize for the Autism Awareness. And I believe they were both donated, and by Christina, I think. She's a very, very generous donator to our podcast.
Yes, she is.
And we are very, very grateful to her.
Thank you.
Now, Autism Awareness, our co-host for this is Laura Concert, who's crocheting Hoovian, and you know that we do a lot with Laura because she's Laura, so she's special. So we do a lot with her, and she has been doing this with us for forever, since almost since the beginning, and she. So she's our co-host, and the rules for this are basically the same, except that this is a quarterly along. So that means this takes place over 3 months, and this runs from April 1st to June 30th. So we are almost 2 weeks left of the along before it closes. And this stuff, the only changes really besides that is that it has to be brightly colored. And at least for us, 75 to 80% brightly colored. I'm not sure if Laura requires more, but just make sure it's brightly colored, or it's a blue. And if the blue could be bright, that would be good. Okay, not some kind of a gray blue. One of my favorite colors is kind of a slate gray blue. That's kind of not bright enough. But if it's blue and pronounced blue, then we'll accept that, because that is also a color for Autism Awareness. Our projects will be hashtag PHN2020 on Instagram. The featured patterns and featured yarns. Okay, the featured yarns, my yarn, Lady Vertical Creations, Lollipop Girl yarns, which is Laura Concert's yarn. The featured patterns are Talia's patterns, Laura's patterns, my one pattern, and Juliana Lund's Winding Journey hat, 10 hours or less, braided bright, and Miss World's weighted lapgan and teddy bear. And I think that she sells them separately and together, but I'm not sure. I think she only sells on Ravelry. But those are all featured patterns. They're 1 chance at a prize. Featured yarn, 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. The featured yarn, 2 chances at a prize for the finished object. Again, if the featured pattern and yarn are used together, it's 3 chances. Multiple postings, you guys are responsible. Okay? And you know this. You guys are awesome. All right. Let me see. Did I get everything for that? I think I got everything for that. I'm trying to pare it down a little bit. Streamline it. Yes. So did I forget anything for that?
Oh, I never pay attention when you're doing that.
She never talks to me. She just talks over me. Okay. That goes right into whips then, unless there's something else that has to be done.
Did you talk about Taurus versus hair?
Yep.
Okay.
Just briefly, in passing, I talked about tortoise versus hare and cardiac dysautonomia starting up in July.
Okay. That's probably why I don't remember is because it was brief because they aren't up yet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
so-
did we, I wanted to make sure y'all knew that the Lady Furnicle Creations, well, we called it LFC, I think we call it LFC and, anyway, Lady Furnicle Creations and Franciscan Gypsy Design thread is up.
Right.
So I've seen a couple of things in there, but mostly people who are moderators and know about this. So, please feel free to take out, even if it's, I think we backdated it all the way to when COVID started, this big thing in like March. So if you did stuff for My Lady Furnicle Creations along, or if you've done Talia's patterns, test knits and things like that,
Show it off.
show it off. Okay?
Because not everyone looks in my testing threads. So if you want other people to see what you've been working on.
Now, they can show the progress if it's already listed, right? But not the progress of those that are being tested. Just
I prefer not. but-
just show the actual finished object of the things that are still in testing. If the testing is done and the pattern is up, then you can show the progress ones too if you want to. Okay? Just not the progress while you're testing, please.
Yes.
Okay?
Thank you.
And that always goes if I get more patterns up myself, if I do
I mean, I become a little bit laxer on it because some of my testers post on Instagram to show
Right.
progress and
Right.
it generates some interest. So as long as it's,
and I know Linnea does it on her little brief one, but it's such a brief thing just to show it.
yeah.
And
I mean, I guess as long as you aren't like giving in-depth
information.
information because,
It's pretty complex.
yeah.
Linnea's a good publicist. She's so sweet about what she says about your patterns.
It is very sweet.
Okay.
What am I doing?
Hi Linnea.
Hi, Linnea.
I like your hair in the last podcast. Okay. You need to go check her podcast from today. Today is the 13th. Actually, I think it might have been yesterday's podcast.
You get to go first.
Why?
Because we have equal projects and you get to go first.
But I can't keep talking. My throat hurts. Well, it doesn't hurt. I'm just...
You are just trying to...
Mr. Kimball. No, it's not really hurting. It's just... No, it's not really scratchy. It's just... If you don't know who Mr. Kimball is,
You're lucky.
I am getting a daily dose of inanity with Green Acres.
Davina and Dad love it.
Yeah, they love it. And I apologize to anybody who likes Green Acres, but Mr. Haney... not Mr. Haney, Mr. Kimball drives me absolutely insane. I don't like Mr. Haney. He's not nice. But Mr. Kimball...
It's not the worst thing they like to watch.
Oh, no, it's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not as stupid as Teen Titans Go.
Oh, no, what's the stupid one they used to watch? I can't remember.
Oh.
I tend to turn it off. I turn my head,
Yeah,
They like the silly stuff.
it was a really stupid cartoon.
Teen Titans Go is pretty close to being stupid.
It's stupid.
I am now being subjected to the tick. Not the bug, the tick. It is a cartoon, marginally better than Teen Titans Go. At least I can sit through it. But oh my gosh. Family time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why we're going. Where were we going with that?
You were acting like Mr. Kimball.
Oh, Mr. Kimball. That's right. Mr. Kimball. He never remembers what he's going to say. He'll say
Backtrack
something
it.
and he'll say, oh, I can't even do it right now because I don't have the brain power. But he's just watch it. See if you can YouTube Mr. Kimball. He's on Green Acres. Oh my gosh. Okay. I guess I will start. If I can find one.
Since your only reason is really, I don't wanna.
I've been talking for the last 20 minutes. Let's see here. Okay. In my Knitting's My Bag, Monet, but really Sarah bag. I like, this bag is really weird. When I got this from, I can't think of her name.
Name's my bag.
But what's her name? Lois. When I got this from Lois, I wanted Knitting's My Bag. I didn't see any fabric. I thought, I'll get this one. It's colorful. It's pretty. But honestly, it's become one of my favorites.
I think part of it's because you also spilled tea on it.
No, not this one.
Wasn't that one you spilled
No,
the tea?
it's a little pink one. That one right there, the French ladies.
Oh, okay, because I thought it was one that you were super, super fond of.
I am super fond of that one. But this
So
one,
that's why I gave you your other one early.
yeah, I remember that. No, I was very fond. I still am very fond of that bag. But this one has grown on me. I just love this. But in here is my
You use it a lot.
Yeah, it's my elementary Dear Watson project from the Elementary Wrap Pattern by Pearl Soho, and I did go look on her page, and this is a free pattern. So if you like this, or if you want to see what it looks like, you can go there and see. It's on her page, on her website. Just look up Elementary Wrap by Pearl Soho, and it's free. And it's curling, but I think I did 4 or 5 rows on this. It's grown a bit. I can actually show you the stockinette. Even though it's curling, you can see. See, I did some progress on it. So this is kind of fun because all I have to do is just know what row I'm on. It's a two row repeat, and just do it. It's got this nice little pattern on the sides. It's not really a pattern. It's kind of a embellishment.
Really a pattern.
Yeah, it's kind of an embellishment, I guess. I'm trying to
It's
see.
not really an embellishment.
Not really embellishment. You can see it on this side better. Can you see this on the side here, right here? I really like it. I can't wait to finish this. It might be a long time. I might be in a rocking chair on the front porch of some assisted living facility by the time it gets finished, but because it's stockinette, and I think I'm using size 8 needles. I thought they were smaller, but it just takes a while. You do 4 or 5 rows and you don't even get an inch out of it. So
Right.
it's just, and it's good. It's a good size. It's probably about that wide. About 15 inches, 17 inches, something like that. So, but I like it. I enjoy doing it. Your turn.
Okie dokie, what's actually going to be this one. So, this one hasn't been living in a bag. This one's been living on my bed open because I've actually been using it even though it's not done because my feet get so hot I can't sleep under my
Right.
sheets, so I keep my feet poked out and just sleep with this.
Right.
Which is why I really need to finish it and weave in the end so I actually have the finished project. This is my mitered square Afghan,
So pretty.
and I probably will only add another row.
Yeah, it's getting pretty long.
Yeah, I think I just want a smidge longer.
Where are you right now? Are you on a?
I have,
Oh, wait. Okay, so you're gonna do another row after this?
yeah,
Okay.
because I think that'll be long enough.
That's what I was trying to figure out because I saw that it was.
Yeah, no, another
Okay.
row after this.
Okay.
Because then I think it might be long enough. Because
Are you gonna border it or are you just gonna?
No.
Okay.
and if I decide it's not long enough after I weave in all the ends, it's not a problem. I can just add it. That's why I'm not adding the border. I always have the freedom to add more squares if I want to.
Excuse me.
So I mean, I've been sleeping with it. It's obviously an okay size. But
We love our blankets in this house. I finally broke down and started using the blanket you guys made for us for our anniversary, my husband and I. It sat there on the back of our couch because I didn't want to mess it up. I'm using it now.
yay.
It's a beautiful blanket. It's perfect weight. I try not to use it if I'm going to be moving around a lot. If I'm just laying by myself and I know I'm not going to move too much, I'll use it. Because some of them have like button eyes and things, and I don't want to. And I haven't taken the tags off of them because
You don't want to.
I don't want to take the tags off and forget who made. Some of them have tags on who made what, and I do have the paper. I have the paper that has who made what squares because that blanket is probably one of the most beautiful gifts we have ever received for an anniversary. It's just absolutely. Every time I think about it, I kind of tear up. It's just such a sweet thing that you guys did, and that was what 35th. That was 2 years ago, so it was really, really nice of them, and it just amazing.
It was really, hard to not say anything.
Yeah, because we got this box. I'm like, what is this? Oh, must be stuff for whatever. So I said I didn't order anything, but yeah. We were talking because of the blanket.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's all I have to say about this. I really need to finish this because I'm using it anyway. I might as well actually have it
Yeah, it'd be nice.
done. Besides, I'm tired of the ends of the yarn getting stuck, like when it gets in between your toes and stuff like that when you're trying to sleep.
That would drive me insane.
Well, I flip it the other way so that the ends are facing upwards. But then sometimes because I sleep with the
Right.
circular needle away from my head.
Right.
So sometimes my foot will get caught in the circular needle, even though it's clipped. So then it's uncomfortable.
I hope you have it plugged up when you're sleeping.
I do.
Okay. Okay, in my Universal Studios large blue canvas bag, I think this is canvas. It's very sturdy, whatever it is. This is my Ninja Turtle baby blanket project. Look, Crystal, I worked on it. You'll be proud of me, Crystal.
Did you get to your next color?
Yes. Back to the turtles. On the green, I didn't do a whole lot. I think I finished the red, and then I did a row of green, and I'm on the second row of green. You can see right here. So, the next one up after this green will be purple for Donnie, because Donnie's the next turtle in line, because the baby is Mikey, for those of you who are not
Aware of this
very important fact that Mikey, is not only the baby, but the heart of the group, and nobody messes with Mikey. Nobody. They do not tolerate that. And the hook I'm using is an H hook. This is a very kind of a loose fabric. I might either, if I do this again, either go up a yarn or go down a hook. It just
Well, you didn't use the yarn called for, if I remember correctly.
I've got a sport yarn on this.
Wasn't it like supposed to be worsted? Or so that was different.
I don't remember. I'd have to look at the pattern. But I used a G, and I guess the E is going to be for the eyes. And this is sport weight. I think for sport weight, because my gauge is so big, I probably should have gone down anyway. Why do I have an H hook instead of a G hook? I don't know. I also may have switched the hooks in the middle somewhere. Sometimes I lose my hook and I can't remember what hook I had. It's not a big difference, but I do tend to have a very loose gauge, and it might have been better if I'd gone down a hook instead of up a hook. And I'm using green, red, blue, purple, and orange. Green, red, blue, purple, orange. Yep, okay. Bravo.
Sorry, I was just sitting there thinking of the Darkwing Duck song. Not the theme song, but the one that he sings with the little girl duck. Where they run through all the colors in the rainbow and ends up being actually a clue of how to get something or other.
Okay, then.
It's a thing.
I don't remember that. I vaguely remember the episode, but...
Yeah.
Darkwing Duck was a staple for the kids.
Well, because Davina really liked Darkwing.
Yeah. Well, we did it... That was England, and we were homeschooling and all
that. Was that as late as England? I thought that was earlier.
It might have been earlier as well. I think it straddled the beginning. I think we started when we were in Colorado.
Because that's when I mostly remember it. She already had her Darkwing Duck, I think, by then.
Yeah.
Okay.
If that's the case, we might have even been in Germany, but you wouldn't remember Germany.
No, I wouldn't remember Germany. That's why I think it was Colorado. Because she was really into the ducks at that point, because we had those Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Now, that was England being into the ducks. Because we went to the...
But it started in Colorado.
It might have. But we lived... and Kay and Dan will know where this is. It's kind of far, because I asked them if they would do a Thetford Forest. They bet it's kind of far for them. We lived outside of Thetford Forest in Thetford for about a year before we moved on to the base at Lakenheath. And we would walk once a week. We'd walk to Mass. And on the way back from Mass, we would stop at the pond, the duck pond in Thetford. And we'd feed the ducks. Davina loved feeding the ducks. And we'd go to the Weigh and Save and get, in the magazine. And we'd go there on the weekends because it was close. But... She loved the ducks. I mean, she had all kinds of ducks.
Yeah, she unfortunately grew out of that stage. Yeah. She doesn't like ducks anymore.
Yeah. She kind of ebbs and flows with things.
Yes. But this is... Actually, it's kind of funny because the title could kind of be counted as a segue. This is the Winging It Baby Blanket. Designed by me. And this is the stroller size. And I'm using Libran Pound of Love in the colorway 103 Pink.
Not to be confused with 102 Pink.
Exactly. Have to be precise.
She's matchy-matchy.
Yeah, as you do. So.
Apparently it's as you do. Very nice.
Just heading into next stockinette section.
Very nice.
This one grows slowly, but it's only because I have been working on it.
Haven't been?
Have not been until this week.
It's funny how that is.
Yeah. It's a little bit bigger than the other size. So.
Right. Okay, my next one is in my Silver Shed USA Owls bag. This is Davina's artwork and Anne's handiwork. Anne Brody, who is amazing and awesome. Okay, we love her. Laura Concert had the bag that Davina made her with the turtles surfing on Instagram with her project that she was going to.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Davina would love that. Okay, this is my Taste of Autumn Shawl project by Anastasia. Well, the Taste of Autumn Shawl project from the Scrap Shawl pattern by Anastasia Zattel. And I'm using Miss Babs Yows, and I don't know what the colorways are for the Miss Babs, and Malabrigo in a, it's called Sunset. I always think it's antique gold. Doesn't look like a sunset to me. But apparently that's what it is. So I did a little bit on this. Not a whole lot, but I did work on it. Sorry, Talia.
You're fine. You didn't do anything.
So it has a ways to go, depending on how big she wants it. But
Yeah, I want a bigger.
yeah, well, it's got to be bigger still. I'm not
Yeah.
I'm not even remotely finished with it. So this is fun to make. It's kind of a relaxing kind of not knit, a crochet,
And you've gotten to the point where you probably don't even have to think about the pattern, right?
I don't have to think about the pattern. It's fairly simple. Saying that I'll make a mistake and have to go back, but it's fairly simple until I get to the ending, and then I have to pay a little bit of attention. But I like this pattern. I really do. This is my third or fourth one of these.
I think it's only your third. Because the
third.
one you finished recently, and then the one that you made for yourself in the really heavy one.
Yeah. So, but that doesn't mean I won't make another one.
No, and I was always curious why you never made another one, because you really enjoyed that pattern.
Yeah.
I actually tried to start one a couple of years back, but I didn't enjoy I really am not, like, I enjoy crocheting toys, but that's about it. Every time I try to crochet something else, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I ended up ripping out because I didn't want to do it. It's nothing to do with her pattern. It's just because I don't enjoy crocheting that way.
Anastasia is a very talented designer.
Even though I started out as a crocheter, I'm not a crocheter at heart.
Right.
I crocheted toys for design because that worked a little better for my brain. But if you were to ask me if I had to choose crochet or knitting, I would choose knitting without a second thought.
Right. Whereas I would probably, if I didn't have the issues with my hands, I would probably choose crocheting. Not to say that I wouldn't knit, because I do like to knit, and I like some of the fabric I get from knitting. But I'm probably predominantly a crocheter if you take dyeing out of the equation.
Right.
Yarn dyeing out of the equation. Which I'm still learning. You know, I think you have to keep learning, you know.
Oh, yeah, but of course. It's my turn, is it not?
Yes.
Okay, so
How do I answer that question? Yes or no?
in my Silver Shed USA, this is waist stuff to the max.
This is Davina's artwork again.
Yes, Davina's artwork for my oopsie bag.
We do like our one-of-a-kind bags.
Yes, we do. This is a Fair Isle Fisherman's Cap. I got to the point where I needed to be to start the decreases on Monday, but I don't like my color choices. I feel like I made a mistake by adding the pink in. I think I'm going to change it out. But I'll show you guys first. What I want to add instead of the pink is add orange and green.
Are those Miracle Jen?
No.
This
one of them is
Oh, this is mine.
Okay, one of them is yours,
Yeah.
and I think the other one might be Undead Yarn.
This doesn't feel like ended yarn. It might be.
I thought it might have been, but I have a bunch of mini skeins. I don't know what they are.
I seem to remember doing this one. Oh yeah, goldfish. This is this was when I did I handed out all the skeins at the Maryland Sheep and Wool. Well,
I don't always know where my
it even says so. Maryland Sheep and Wool 2018.
I don't always know where my mini skeins come from because I just have all the finger and white mini skeins in one.
And this is a 20 gram. This is almost 100 yards.
Oh, nice. So I'm thinking of adding these two in. The other colors I have, I won't use this light blue again. It's a little too bright and doesn't quite match. I'm thinking along with the black, I'm going to have these. And
I don't
then,
think they can see the top here. This one. Yeah, okay.
so those kind of all have the same feel to them, very autumnal. Whereas the blue and the bright pink I'm going to show you, it's a very different color scheme. And I'm thinking the way the blue is in the bottom, it doesn't matter. It blends in well enough. It doesn't really affect things. It could be a one-off. But you can see here, and this is what makes me unhappy about it, is I don't mind that it's dramatic. I do mind that it looks like it's two different hats.
Because she showed it to me like, oh, that looks different.
And this really bothers me. So I'm going to actually tink back to this black and pink section, past this black and pink section, and re-knit all this in other colors. This will probably be black and orange here.
This one?
Yes. So there'll be black and orange where it's black and pink. And then it'll end up this side up here will then be orange. And I'm thinking it'll look a little bit repetitive initially, but I'm thinking orange, black where the blue, orange where the pink is, black where the blue is, and then green where this stripe of yellow is.
You think that green will recede into the black?
I had taken a picture, and it shouldn't. I've taken a black and white picture, and it shouldn't.
Okay.
My other thought process was to do the orange in the pink area, the green where the blue is, and maybe a yellow, the yellow where the yellow already is.
You can figure it out. Might work. Yeah, that might work. I'm just concerned that the green with the black might be too...
I mean, when I took the black and white, it's close but not super close. Kind of like the red and black are.
That's not close.
But it looks like it in a black and white. So I'll have to see when I'm actually working them together.
Well, you know how to tear back enough. And,
yeah.
You know, it's not
I've torn this back a couple different times because I didn't like color combinations. But I really don't like this really bright, springy section in comparison with the rest of this that isn't really springy.
Because it's not a scrap blanket. It's a...
Right. For scrap blanket, it's different. This is supposed to be one united hat, and it doesn't look like a united hat. If I had done it all in the springy colors, that would have been one thing.
Or if you were making it scrap and you did one row that was autumnal, then one spring, then autumnal,
right.
one spring, then it would be okay. But it's not. It looks like you just kind of decided,
So this will be ripped back to a certain point.
I mean, the work is beautiful, but it's just...
I'm just not happy with the color combinations. And I tried to, be like, well, I'll still wear it and blah, blah, blah. But the more I looked at it, I'm like, I just don't like it. It doesn't look right. Even if the colors stand out nicely against each other, that's not the point. The colors don't...
They don't work.
Don't work.
Okay. Are you done?
Mm-hmm.
All right. In my PHN Chameleon bag, I seem to have a lot of Anne's bags today. Yeah. Is my At the Bottom of the Hill scarf project. This is modified from something I saw at the bottom of the hill. I just saw the picture. And I did some on this. This is the right side here. Whoops. So you can see that this is James C. Brett, and it's kind of self-gradiating, I guess you would say. This is a very stretchy stitch pattern. You see that?
Yes, I can.
And this one I'd like to play around with. Maybe put something on the sides so it doesn't do some of this wonky stuff that it seems to be doing on its own. Because it doesn't curl on the bottom, but it curls on the side. So I'm thinking maybe if I put some kind of a border to the next thing I do,
right,
then it won't do that. So, whoops, I'm sorry about the clanking. And this is a bulky or chunky weight yarn, and I'm using, I think we decided this was a size 10 or 10 and a half.
I think it was 10.5 if I remember
Needles,
correctly.
yeah. Okay.
But that's working completely off of memory. So I did forget to show one project before I head into my designs that I can only show you bags of.
Okay.
It still didn't change the count. I just didn't. in my Plover Bird TARDIS Bigger on the Inside bag, worked a little bit on this. This is my Scarlet Wrap. This is the Burrow Wrap by K.F. Jones. And just a little bit of work, not a whole ton.
Good, because when you finish that one, maybe you can work on mine.
I think that I worked on this mostly when trying to remember. I think this is what I worked on when I was in the car.
Hold on. On the way to the doctor?
Yeah. Because I didn't work on this at the...
What is that?
In the waiting room. This is holding stitches.
Oh, it's holding stitches. Okay.
Yeah, don't untie.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't.
That's part of why I tied it, actually.
Excuse me.
So...
Oh, you're already doing the...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just that it's they're long little flaps. That's part of what I like about it, but makes it so comfortable, but does mean that it takes a while to knit.
Sure.
And shockingly, you have to work on it for it to...
Isn't that beautiful? Look at those colors.
So it's very tigery, brownsy, banglesy.
Yeah. Okay.
So it does need to get more attention than it has been getting. It's just...
Well, you do what you do. Mm-hmm. That's very profound, I think.
Yes, very profound. I'm just floored by profundity.
Mm-hmm. He used the word I was thinking of.
Profundity.
Because we do like our words. Anyway. My next one I can't show you. It's in my Silver Shed USA Green Star Wars bag. This is my Pesty Westy baby blanket from the test pattern for Taya's blanket that hasn't even gone out into testing yet. Mm-hmm. So I can't show it to you. I did work a bit on it. And I can show you the color. In case you weren't here last week. I love this color.
And I'm actually really close to finishing that. I think I'm a few inches away.
I made some progress, you can see.
Very cool.
And I'm doing the crib size, the small one. When I do tests for Taya, since I can't go very fast and I'm not good at tinking back and she might have to, I do the small. Mm-hmm. So it's here.
Well, that's usually what I do when I'm making the pattern. Is I do the smallest size.
It's you.
Okay, so I think from now on these are going to be ones that are designs in progress. So, I guess I didn't work on that one. I guess I only worked on the charts for that one. I guess that's right. Because Tuesday I did almost no knitting. I think I mostly did pattern editing.
Right. Well, that still counts.
It does, but it did mean that it doesn't count on my patterns worked on. It wasn't because it wasn't actual knitting.
So what? Now you have 6 instead of 7?
No, it's the same amount.
Oh, gotcha.
It's just that I was sitting there going like, wait, didn't I work on that? No, I didn't. I just spent a lot of time thinking about that pattern. Right. It felt like I worked on it, but I didn't. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So this one is actually, I think I have 2 testers from 2 other places that are not quite done with this.
Right.
But this is the Davina hat designed by me. This is my electric turquoise version of it, so which is a plain one because the original was not plain. So it should be, I'm hoping it can be released early, but it's not there yet. But yeah, this is in my Star Knits Art 2 bag.
Cool. Okay, my next one is in my Kikiboo Holiday Owls bag. I didn't work a whole lot on this, just a little bit. This is my little, you guys know when you see this, it's usually a baby hat, a preemie loom knit hat. Let's see, I'm kind of tangled up in here.
Tangled up in blue?
No, tangled up in red. So it's starting to be able to be stretched below the base here. And this is just Brava worsted in red. And this will probably be going to Kim. Probably, because I have some things to send to her to the Amelia project. Because I kept promising her something, so I have to deliver. She's not going to believe me. Okay.
My next one, this one gets a fair amount of work on it. I work on this just about daily. In my Ravelry tote bag, I think I had gotten this for my first Fiber Festival.
Yeah, and this is another well-made bag.
Yeah, it's a very sturdy bag.
Sorry, guys. a bit of a frog.
It's not quite as heavy duty as my Maryland sheep and wool bag, which I think that you could try to go at it with a knife almost, and it would still hold up.
Yeah, I have one like that. It's very, very sturdy.
This one is very sturdy, but it's a little bit of a thinner material. It's not meant to be knifed. Yeah. Or even, like, it'll take damp a little bit more. Like, it'll get a little more damp than that one.
Right.
Though. Whereas that one, I think if you set it down, it takes a while for the water to seep through.
Well, that's like this one. This universal bag is the same way. It's almost like it's you know, that waxed. It's not waxed, but it feels like it would repel a little bit.
Whereas this is a heavy cloth, but it definitely will get wet.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's being used as a project bag because I ran out of project bags. But I can't actually show this. This is a baby blanket pattern that I've been working on. Yeah, you've been seeing this like forever. Yeah. I really am very close on it. I'm probably, I said a couple inches, but it's probably more like 6 inches from being done.
That's not what the red one is.
No, this is the very simple one.
Have I done this one?
This is the one you're doing.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The other one you have not done.
Okay.
The other one, it has hurt feelings because I'm not working on it. The other one has the 4-row repeat.
Okay, I got the colors mixed up for which is which.
Yeah, no, because I didn't have the red colorway.
Right.
When I started this one.
Okay.
The red one's no longer at the same point as this one. This one beat it out.
Okay. In my Silver Shed USA pink tortoise bag, this was one, maybe our second or third tortoise versus hare. So, this is my Roaring 20s hat from the flip top beanie pattern. I showed you last week this one, which can't be a hat because of the eyes.
Which is so day.
I added some rows to this one because I didn't think it was long enough. I'll have to see if that was a mistake. But, so I'm just about ready to do this part of it, where the flip top. Because what happens with this is that I sewed it down because I felt it was going to be a kid, but it there's a portion that comes down here, and you flip it up and you button it. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I'm wondering if that's going to be a little long, but it's better. You can always try it on and see.
Well, this is a size I'm going to have Davina try it on, but this is the medium. Not the medium. It's the. I use a different size hook and yarn.
I'm just trying to feel, because a lot of times I feel like crochet had some. Oh, it stretches more than I thought it would. Yeah. Because it looked at first that didn't have any give to it.
Well, this is what it's supposed to be. This is the amount of rounds, and it's for a child, and it's supposed to cover your ears. And I just
don't feel like it does.
I don't feel like it would. So that's why I added some rounds to it. And like I said,
and it could be the difference between gauge.
See, it's supposed to cover your head like that. And I don't know that this would do that on a baby or a child.
I don't know.
So I don't know. So we'll see. I'll figure it out. I'll play around with it because.
Oh, and then write notes so you know for future makings of this pattern.
Right. And this is the same size as this one. She has 2 sizes in this pattern.
Oh, this came from my bag.
Next time I'll try the adult pattern and see.
Oh, you're not doing the adult one?
No, I'm still doing this one. I just added a couple rows. So you can
now,
see.
the width might not be appropriate then. Because
what?
If it's a child size, it might not be wide enough to fit on an adult's head.
I think I changed out the yarn as well.
Okay. Because
this is a worsted. I'm not sure what this was. I don't remember what this one was. But anyway, I'm playing around with it because I'm not, like you said before, I'm not afraid to rip things out with crocheting.
It's definitely more of your comfort zone.
So that's that.
Because you don't get nearly the same, I don't want to rip it out. If I rip it out, I'm not going to restart. Usually if you rip it out, okay, it's crochet.
Yeah. As long as my hand cooperates, I'm okay with that. You know, sometimes I don't want to rip things out because then I have to restart it, and that's working on a project that I could be doing something else. So,
but it's a different motivation than when you don't want to rip out a knitting one.
Right.
At least it feels different.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
And I'm sorry if I keep clearing my throat. I've got a lot of allergies going on or something, so I apologize if that's annoying people.
She's just pulling a Steve McQueen, trying to get people to look at her so she's the center of attention.
With his hat?
I think it was his hat that he kept playing on with. Whatever he kept doing in the background to try to pull attention from Yul Brynner.
Yeah.
Until Yul Brynner said he would just remove his hat and then all the lights would shine off his head.
Yul Brynner's just awesome. Okay.
I bet he had a bit of an ego too, though.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, most. Yeah.
Okay.
I think you have to be sometimes when you get up and do that kind of stuff.
I think my favorite part for him is
King and
I, though. Yeah.
Lower.
Well, the dance scene.
Yes. Well, I just like the fact where he's talking to what's her name? She's such a good actress.
I don't think I ever saw. Wait,
what's her name?
because it wasn't Julie Andrews.
No. It could have been, but it wasn't. It was
because she has reddish hair.
yes.
I don't think I ever saw her in anything.
Oh, she's been in many things. She's I just saw another movie with her recently. Deborah Kerr. She was in it, and it's a scene where they're sitting, and he insists that she be lower than him, and so she's finally like on the floor because he can't.
And with those dresses that she would wear, it'd be very hard for her to get up again because it was a voluminous skirt.
Well, it was one of those things that probably had a hoop. You know?
Probably did,
or petticoats. Or
I'm
something.
pretty sure it had a hoop because the way it moved, I thought it might have.
It might have had those really large petticoats.
Yeah,
but they had good chemistry in that movie, and he did respect her. The king did respect her, and it was very good. We digress.
We do digress. But if nothing else, even if you don't watch the movie, watch the dance scene. If you write in YouTube King and I, even just dance, because I think that is the only dance scene. When she's trying to teach him how to dance, or he tells her she's gonna teach him how to dance.
Yes.
And that she's not dancing the way that she did with, I think it was with the British guy who was an old friend or something.
Right.
Anywho.
It's a good movie. I like that movie.
I haven't watched the movie itself in a long time.
I haven't either.
I think because there are some difficult things with his characters. With his character, which can be a little hard to watch because he is a difficult character.
Well, he's funny. I mean, at the end, I guess I shouldn't say because it's a spoiler, but it just makes me laugh.
Yeah.
Because what he did is just.
Anyway, not King and I.
But I want to talk
Bunnies.
about King and I.
Bunnies.
I'd rather talk about King and I. They're not owls.
Of course they're not owls.
They're not owls.
Owls eat bunnies and it's sad.
Well, they have to eat.
Poor little bunnies. Anyway, in my tortoise versus hare...
Bunnies eat bunnies.
Poor little bunnies. My tortoise versus hare bag is a cowl design that I've been working on. So I'm very happy with it. You know which one this is. So, yes. Didn't get as much work as I wanted to on this one.
I have a vague remembrance of that. Okay. No FOs for me.
And I do not either. This was not a good week for FOs for me.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Okay, so that takes us into reading, watching.
Okay. I've been kind of flipping around what I watched between Poirot, listening to Lord of the Rings, and my Catholic. So they're not subscriptions. I guess they are subscriptions. They're like virtual conferences. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing those kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I'm getting overloaded again with things because I'll be like, oh, I don't want to do this, and I'll turn something else on, and I don't want to listen to anything. Mm-hmm. I do listen to Linnea's podcasts because they're short.
I go through phases with what I want to watch.
She's not just because they're short, but her content is good as well. But they're short; they're about 5 minutes.
It's about where your attention span is.
Where my attention span is, because I turn on Kay and Dan, and I want to watch them. I love them. And I get to about 10 minutes and I have to stop and do something else. Not because of them, but because I just can't do it right now.
What's really weird is if I can't watch anything else for them because I don't have the focus, I can usually watch the Journey Around the Center of the Oak.
See, the one I go to for them is their Bake Off. They're
right. And I have done that as well because it's just the nice sound of Kay's voice in the background.
Kay is extremely restful. If I want to have like something and I don't know what it is, I love Bakery Bears, and I will watch them, rain or shine, whatever. But if I have having trouble focusing on anything at all, I will turn Kay on, and I will listen to Pudding Club.
Right, and you also have the design one.
I love her
that she
designs.
has.
Yeah, because Craftsy's going, I asked my husband gave me for Mother's Day a subscription to the Bakery Bears, Patreon. Taya had been handling it for a while. Now my husband gave it to me. Craftsy's going away, and Kay and her university and stuff like that, her instruction is wonderful. She's absolutely wonderful, and I love her dearly. So between her and YouTube, I'll have that kind of stuff taken care of. Besides the people that you guys are awesome. All I have to do is ask something. You guys are helpful. So, while Craftsy will be missed, it won't be a big hole.
Right, it's more of the losing what we have thing that's an issue. But we're not going on a Craftsy rant.
No.
What else? Anything else you're watching? Or yes.
Watching. No, I mean reading. I'm still reading Scoundrels. I'm still working on the shared story, but I am writing to it. I did write to it, so that was nice. It's nice to be able to sit down and kind of get. Ty and I have been talking more about the shared story as she's been able to do so. So that's been nice. I've missed that when she hasn't been able to focus for that.
Because when we write, or even when we talk about the characters, you have to get into the mindset of that character. Because certain ones are very much like us, but I have a couple that are very unique with their voice.
Yeah, I actually have a couple, but they're not being written right now.
Right. Mine are pronouncedly unique, and mine are also more Maine than your very unique ones.
Yeah, well, they were Maine when we were somewhere else. Right. They're not so much now.
And they also wouldn't stay like Maine. Like they're gonna pop in and out, but whereas mine are actually in the Maine.
Right, they're staying with us. I mean, I have some that are difficult to write sometimes,
right?
Because they're just so much of an antithesis to the way I would do things or whatever, and they're a little bit.
And I have a character that sometimes I downright hate, even though he's a main character, because I think he's a jerk.
And he can be.
But he's enjoyable to write.
Yeah.
It's just writing, the weirdness of writing. You don't write, the characters write.
The characters speak, and it's like being dictated to.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
If you're not a writer,
it sounds crazy.
Yeah.
Pants.
Yeah.
Or if you're a writer who is plot driven and not character driven.
We are very character driven. We are very, very character driven. So yeah, they've been talking a little bit, so that's nice.
And Mom is very much more of a writer than I am. She has more of a passion / need for it than I do. Whereas I can write, but I have other outlets for that creativity.
And I've noticed, unfortunately, that my time has been such, and my focus has been such that desire to write hasn't been as pronounced in the past. I actually had to dial back on my writing several years ago because it was interfering with my family life. So
writing is a jealous mistress.
Excuse me. So I have to balance that, and sometimes balancing it, like Talia was saying, writing's jealous, and if you don't do what it tells you, it shuts up. It dries up. So it's just,
it wants to be all encompassing.
And I don't write usually. I either write microfiction or go straight into novels. Short stories just don't do it for me at this point.
No, because you can't build character in enough in a short little. Because we're character driven, not plot driven, we usually want to continue playing with the characters.
Yeah. Okay, so that's.
Although you probably do something like a Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah, I probably could do something
because
like that.
You still have the same characters it's serial.
It's serial kind of thing, yeah.
So if you had something in a setup where you knew that person would continually have adventures, like say if you had, I don't know, like a healer or physician who keeps having interesting people come in and out of their lives, and in the course of their job they keep seeing things come up. It's not a continual story.
Right. It's like having a cop.
Right. You know, I chose healer or physician because it fits a little bit more in the kind of writing you like to do with fantasy.
Right. It's
something where there's a serial nature to it.
You do, space,
but you could still have the character development that you like.
Space fantasies lend themselves to that. If you're doing something like a Star Trek or something, they lend that.
Right. Something where there's always room for an adventure.
Right. detectives, things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I said my reading. I was reading Scoundrels still. And go ahead.
I haven't done any writing. I have watched a little bit of my Great Courses Plus class on Russian history and culture. Really enjoying that. And surprisingly, when I had listened to, I've been following this podcaster actually for several years. He used to have, his first podcast was the Queens of England podcast. And then he started another podcast called The Other Half, which first it started with the empresses of Rome, so the women in Rome. And then he went on for season 2 into Queen Victoria and her daughters, granddaughters, because Queen Victoria, with everyone in her family marrying out to all the royal families, it touched all of Europe.
Right.
And even beyond Europe, it touched Russia, all of the important nations at that time period. So it's a really interesting way to get a different view of world events. That lecture that I happened to be listening to is, actually I believe it was late Saturday after I had finished recording, after the podcast was up. It happened to tie in very nice with my Russian course, not because it was the same time period, but because it was Russian. It was talking about, her name was Elizabeth, and she ended up marrying she was one of the German members of the Victorian family, and she married into Russia, and she wasn't the Tsarina like her sister was, but she married like the uncle of that particular Tsar, and she was an amazing person. Became a saint in the Russian Orthodox Church. Really kind of a badass.
I think there are other ways you can describe a saint.
I mean, seriously, when people come into your convent that you joined because after your husband was murdered, first of all, you visited the guy who killed your husband. It's like, yeah, this was horrible, and I really wish you hadn't done that, but I forgive you. And then the next thing is when they come and hassle you because you're of German background and you because you're German background and because you are what was the other thing? Oh, you're a Romanov, because they had a problem with the Romanovs because with the war there was an even ever widening distance between the poor and the wealthy. I mean, there was a reason there was a revolution. There did need to be a change, but not the way they did it. But they would hassle her, and one of the stories they told, besides, a couple times, then she would stop them, and just by herself, this whole bunch of people who hated her and wanted to kill her, she's like, they'll just talk to them, and they'll either wait for the police to come for them, or the second time, after there had already been the overthrow, and she had no idea what had happened to her sister and the Tsar, she stops them, says, well, how about we come in and pray? And she makes all of them leave their guns, and they go and they have like this prayer thing together in the chapel, and they quietly leave after that. It's just like, they said it was the weirdest service ever. And I'm just like, yes, you go.
I think there are different words that you can use to... It more accurately would do the one who punched the guy in the face for not agreeing with it. Who was that?
You mean St. Nicholas?
Yeah, it was St. Nicholas.
But just like, shoot, you are super awesome.
She is awesome. The other word does not describe a saint.
She was awesome, though. Because I do not think I would have had the guts to stand down a whole army.
And that's why she's a saint. Okay, one of the reasons.
But, yeah, so it dovetailed very nicely.
Settle down. You're flaring.
I figured I was.
Okay.
So, also, I have... I finished reading Call the Nurse, True Stories of a Country Nurse on a Scottish Isle by Mary J. MacLeod. Someone had actually mentioned they were reading on Instagram, and I picked it up at that point. Well, I started the second book that she had written.
There's more than one?
She's written 3.
Okay.
One is more about her early time of growing up in the Depression.
Oh, okay.
Because this is set during the 70s, 80s. Maybe not Depression. It would have been Depression. I can't remember when she said she grew up. I think this was set during the 70s, though.
Okay. Couldn't be the Depression. Maybe unless they had a Depression in Scotland at that time.
Right. That's right, because she's not American.
Yeah.
She's not even Scottish. She's English. But her husband is Scottish in background. But anyway, I'm reading the second book, Nurse Come You Here, More True Stories of a Country Nurse on a Scottish Isle. So I'm enjoying that. And they're just little shorts. And you start recognizing characters because, they showed up in the other book. Mm-hmm. Stories refer to other stories.
Nice.
So it's not a cohesive plot. It's just...
Well, it's really a diary type of thing, isn't it?
It is. It's not quite a diary. It's just, but well, this thing happened, and this other thing happened.
Well, that's my point. It's factual.
Yeah.
So you see the people who are involved, and that's what gives it the continuity.
Yeah. Because these are the people that were in her life. So that has been interesting. And then the other thing that I've been listening to, I'm at a point in Lord of the Rings in the audiobook where it's a little too active for if I'm really flaring. So I go back to when I'm flaring a lot to old favorites. I either go to Jane Austen or something like that. And this time I chose to go back to Louisa May Alcott. And I like Little Women, but I actually prefer Rose and Bloom.
I do too. Well, the series is 8 Cousins and Rose
Eight Cousins and Rose and Bloom. I read Rose and Bloom first.
So did I.
And I fell in love with those characters.
They're amazing characters.
And because I remember that I could still see in my head the cover of the book. It's
Rose and Bloom?
Of Rose and Bloom. It has Rose on the front with her hair loose. Mm-hmm. And I think Mac is against the mantelpiece, and Charlie's off to the other side.
Was that my book or was that your book? I had my book first.
I'm not sure if it was your book that you gave to me or what it was. But I read that book over and over again, that particular physical form.
I was at my grandmother's when I read Rebecca of Sunnybrook Farm and I think 8 Cousins I found in the bookshelf there, and I read those books.
I looked up 8 Cousins later because of Rose and Bloom.
8 Cousins comes first.
And when I reread them, I usually don't just go right into Rose and Bloom now. I read 8 Cousins first. Mm-hmm. And that's what I'm doing now. I'm listening to 8 Cousins again because these are comfort books for me. These are ones that, they're really well-written characters. I tend to like them better than Little Women, even though Little Women is what she's known better for. I kind of feel like Rose and her family kind of get overlooked. I mean, maybe they're not quite as interesting because they're more wealthy or whatever, but Rose is just really a nice, complex character.
They're all out. It's a very good...
They're very well-written characters.
I think their family dynamic's a little more interesting.
I think so, too. I'm not sure if it's because there's a mixture of boys and girls. I don't know.
I think it's also just because there's so many more of them. They've got different families. It's not just one nuclear family.
Right.
One with the Little Women, you have the second family when Laurie comes in, but
it's only Laurie and his grandfather.
So, but with 8 Cousins, you have all the cousins' families,
and there's 8 of them. So
there's 8 cousins, but there's 4 families, I think.
Yeah, because there's Rose, and then you have the 4 in Archie's family. There's Archie, the twins,
and the little boy,
Jamie. And then you have Steve and
Charlie.
No.
Steve and Mac.
And actually it's Mac and Steve because Mac's older.
Right.
Charlie's by himself. That's why he's so spoiled.
Right. That's right.
And then you have all the aunts.
Right.
And the couple of uncles that are there.
Right.
And then you have Phoebe.
Yeah.
Who's not a cousin, but who's there.
And she's fantastic.
So and there's always other... and by the time you get to Rose and Bloom, other characters coming in.
In and out, yeah.
So it's just a very well... If you haven't read it and you like a little bit of comforting, romancy kind of stuff...
I would suggest that series, and I would also suggest the Anne series, the Anne of Green Gables series.
Now, I haven't read past Anne of Green Gables.
I have read every single one of the Anne of Green Gables series, including the one, I think it's just called Rilla.
I tried reading the second one. I just wasn't as interested.
I read all of them, and some of them interest me more than others. There's one that, I forget which one it is, but it's it doesn't have enough of all the central characters. I like it okay, but it's not my favorite. The one about Rilla is actually about Anne's daughter. I mean, the whole family's there, but the focus is more on her daughter, her youngest daughter, Marilla.
Well, I think sometimes with Anne, where something it doesn't do quite as well as the Rose books, is that not all the characters are quite as interesting.
Right.
Because Diana, I don't really find very interesting.
But Diana didn't have a big part to play after the first couple books.
Okay, because I've only gone to the first couple books.
Diana...
I kind of felt like she was kind of a boring character.
I think she was meant to be a foil for Anne, because Anne is such a vibrant kind of... You need someone to kind of tone her down sometimes.
But, I mean, you can have a character who tones down, who's interesting, because Archie is not a super in-your-face type character.
Mm-hmm. Well, neither is Mac.
And neither is Mac, but they're both interesting.
I've always liked Mac.
Well,
anyway,
I've always liked Mac.
All right, we need to stop talking about that because we're just waffling. But anyway, we digress. Okay. What's next?
I think that's all for reading for me, because I'm almost done with listening to Eight Cousins again. The reader is a very nice reader. Mm-hmm. I think it's kind of a shame she never wrote more in that series, but I do believe that it ended organically and possibly could have been not as good if she continued.
Well, there was no reason to continue.
There was no reason to continue, right. It was about Rose growing up, and she had grown up by
and
then.
it satisfied everything, even the ancillary with Phoebe and stuff like that. Yeah. It all got taken care of.
So it would have been a mistake to continue it, even if a part of you's like, I want more. You're like, no, it didn't need to. This is it didn't fall into the trap that some authors fall into. Because, actually, unpopular opinion here probably, but I don't think Hunger Games needs another book.
Hunger Games? No, I don't either.
I don't care about Snow's point of view.
No.
I don't want him made a character that is suddenly sympathetic. I think it's trying to ride on the popularity of Hunger Games.
And Hunger Games was fantastic. I enjoyed all the movies. I enjoyed all the books. I don't think they need to go talking about other people.
And I kind of feel like... Also, I'm not a big fan of prequels.
Yeah.
You know that I like Terry Brooks. Mm-hmm. I
didn't like that one prequel.
Did not like the prequel where he tries to write about the king of Shannara for the making of the sword.
I didn't like that one. Was it a prequel or was it the one about the kid?
Oh, that was just a little snippet.
I didn't like that though.
But there was a prequel where he wrote about it was about Jurl Shannara.
Yes.
And the problem is when you write prequels, you know what's coming next, so you feel like you need to tie together things that maybe... And it just feels too pat.
Well, it depends on the author. Some people do it really well. But
I haven't really found a prequel that I like.
I think if you didn't know what it was, you might have a different viewpoint.
And maybe that would be...
and I'm not saying... I don't think that prequels are necessarily.
Although, to give... Okay, maybe an example of one that I don't mind is technically... The first book for The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe was a prequel because he wrote Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe first, and later on wrote The Magician's Nephew. But maybe just because he's a good author, he didn't make it feel too pat. It didn't feel like he was trying to tie it together, all these things in such a way. It felt like it was its own complete story. Right. Whereas I always kind of felt like a lot of prequels fall into they fall too hard into the fan service. And I don't like being catered to.
Well, I think it also depends on if you know, because you have a prejudice against that.
I do.
And so and I'm not saying it's an unfounded one, because a lot of times the prequels don't work. But I think if you don't know it's a prequel and you read it first, you might not have the same adverse reaction. Possibly, for some of them. Because I'm sure that some people do it well. I just can't think of them off the top of my head.
Well, C.S. Lewis is the immediate one that comes to my mind.
I don't read C.S. Lewis. I don't like reading C.S. Lewis. I like watching C.S. Lewis. I love the stories. I just don't like his style of writing.
But I felt like he did it well.
I come back and revisit that. But
and it's not my favorite series to read because it's definitely aimed at a younger audience. But I felt like he didn't fall into the trap that a lot of authors fall into when they write a prequel.
Right.
where now they're trying to make something more, where they're trying to make all the characters that they had that you loved in the previous stories come together before that point. And you're just like, well, let's even use something like, this isn't something that happened in even any of the movies, but let's say if in Star Wars,
I was just going to say that. But go ahead.
they had Han show up earlier having contact with Anakin.
Right.
It's like, well, why? It doesn't...
No, but the way they did it well with the movies is that they had Han's prequel. It was a prequel, it happened beforehand, but they didn't do anything. They only mentioned Jabba the Hutt when he was going to do a different job.
It made sense. It didn't have... You didn't have in Han's prequel, well, we have to make a little mention of Luke here, a little mention of Leia here, even though he hasn't met them. There was nothing... The only one he had any contact with was Lando, which made sense.
Because that's how he got the ship.
Right.
And then, so you have a little bit of and he had a history
now,
with them.
An example of what I don't like about prequels, let's use the example of Star Wars again. The original prequels.
I didn't like the...
But let me go ahead and use it as an example, though.
You know how I feel about
I didn't feel like R2 and 3PO being owned / created by Anakin made sense.
No.
Because I felt like it was too pat. I felt like they didn't seem to have any, because that wasn't written in the original trilogy. When your questions are like, why doesn't 3PO recognize this rock that he's acting like this is the first time they've ever come to Tatooine? Like, because at that point it was.
Yeah.
So when you're trying to write in this story, and yes, you go, he had his thing
memory
wiped,
wiped,
or whatever, but it felt like they were just trying to pull those characters in because they knew they didn't have enough characters from the original group. So the only ones they could think to drag in would have been an R2 or a 3PO to kind of tie it in.
It doesn't have to be. I mean, it could... if they had...
Instead, they should have made it stand nicely on its own.
Yeah. They could have done something. He could have done that could explain how Leia got him if, she left when he left him. He left him. But it does not...
But also, R2 didn't belong to her. R2 belonged to General Antilles.
Okay, that's right.
Because, yes, I'm a nerd, and I know who R2 belonged to because I have a script of all the movies of the original trilogy. And Davina and I used to act them out when we were kids.
We got those for you.
Yes.
Yes,
yes,
she comes from a long line of Star Wars nerds. I used to have all the stuff. I mean, just the schematics
so
and all
Davina
that.
and I actually had like portions of the script memorized at points. So yes, I do know who R2 belonged to, and it wasn't to Leia. It was to General Antilles. And I'm not sure if he realized that he made General Antilles and Wedge Antilles have the same last name and never addressed the fact that they apparently weren't related because Wedge never mentioned it.
Yeah, and he might have done. He's not the kind of character.
Well, in the other books, Wedge mentions that he doesn't. In the Rogue Squadron, I believe Wedge mentioned like he didn't have any family or something, or some sort of issue.
But was General Antilles still around?
General Antilles was dead. But I do believe that something in the fact made me believe that General Antilles wasn't related to Wedge Antilles.
I don't remember that point, but
or there's a smuggling background or something in the family.
We did Wedge was a minor character that we just like.
Yeah, and
we do that.
Sorry, that was a complete nerd out. But that is an example of poorly done prequeling.
Okay, you have digressed enough.
I have opinions.
No.
Hi.
All right, are we done now?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, keep going. Something else now.
Okay, so that leads us on to shop news. Do you have shop news?
I do. We're not doing our royalties yet?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot about royalties because, yes.
Okay. It's not a whole lot of stuff, but we have purple package stuff.
Plum Deluxe stuff.
Okay, I have...
This all smells amazing.
I think mine got diffused because it's been out in the air.
Excuse me.
I've got 2 of the Fog Cutter black tea because that's the Irish breakfast I tasted the other day, and I was like, oh wow, I can drink this anytime. And I wanted to drink this today, but I didn't want to open it. And then I have Encouragement Blend Oolong Tea and Creme Brulee black tea. These were on sale. Weren't these the one on sale?
Yes, all the Earl Greys are on sale right now. They might not be when this comes out.
No, this wasn't on sale. Fog Cutter wasn't on sale. These two
No,
are
no.
on sale.
Yeah, I didn't. That's not Earl Grey.
Okay, this is an Earl Grey. This is a breakfast.
No, these are Earl Greys.
Okay.
The only one that was Irish breakfast was Fog Cutter.
Okay.
So
we might have more coming.
we do have more coming because I paid for it.
I know. I was being coy.
So
You blew it.
I don't koi well.
I know you don't play well with others.
Not a koi fish.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so first of all, the mini ones that come with everything. This is the housewarming black tea.
The what one?
Housewarming black tea.
Oh right. Mm-hmm.
So this is a little mini one. This is about a teaspoon. This has to be if I only want a little small cup of.
Yeah.
And vanilla latte tea. I have to see if I have the
Smell that one.
if I have a bigger one of that, because if I have a bigger
smells
one of
good.
it, I can mix it with that. Or I can mix it with something that's similar.
Sugar cookie or something.
Yeah,
vanilla
If
shortbread.
I run short on that, maybe I can mix it. So this is California Grey Herbal Tea. So this one's a Rubios tea. Oh, this was my tea of the month because this is Rubios in it. This was before I told them I can go back to the caffeinated ones because they're still giving me decaf. So this is a decaf one. It's Rubios tea, apple pieces, orange peel, blue cornflowers, calendula, almond essence, bergamot essence. A lot of teas I like tend to have bergamot in it, and I also tend to like nutty ones.
I think he uses a lot of bergamot.
Well, that's
and calendula.
Yes, I do like things with calendula
do.
in it. Also with blue cornflowers.
I like the stuff that has maple and
Oh,
vanilla.
I love every maple
vanilla.
tea. I tend to love.
Apple and cinnamon.
And so this, you saw the Lady Grey one. That's one I had today. That one's new. Sunny Day Black Tea, a radiant twist on Earl Grey, black tea, green Rubios, orange peel, mango pieces, apricot pieces, bergamot oil, mango/passion fruit essence, blue cornflowers. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about it with the mango and apricot, but it is
Yummy.
good.
Yummy.
It is good. I don't always like those particular kind of fruits and things. But I know sometimes I'm surprised, so I was willing to try it. Endearment Blend Oolong Tea. Oolong tea, black tea, orange peels, apple pieces, cinnamon, clove, blue cornflower, safflower, bergamot oil, vanilla/maple essence.
That was endearment.
Yes. So this is good. I like about anything with a maple in it. And then creme brulee, grey black tea. You do have that one too. I was a little concerned because it has jasmine flowers in it, and sometimes I do react to the smell of jasmine. Like if it's an essential oil, I can't handle it. But I seem to be fine drinking it. Black tea, orange peel, jasmine flowers, blue cornflower, bergamot oil, vanilla extract, love and gratitude. I seem to remember this one being pretty good too.
The ones I didn't tell you, she gave you the two here that I have, but the Fog Cutter Black Tea has, it says clear through the emotional clutter and focus on your dreams. All organic, Assam black tea, Ceylon black tea, African black tea, Darjeeling black tea, lemon peel, love, gratitude, and caffeine.
I tend to like the African teas because one of my favorite teas, which she doesn't carry anymore, is called purple tea, and I believe it's Kenyan tea.
It's a very strong tea.
And it's not super common, and I was really bummed when we stopped carrying it. You can find purple tea elsewhere because I looked.
So
that was my go-to for a while.
This is our stash and haspers. Nothing knitty, crochet.
No, all tea.
All right, moving on to shop.
Yes.
All right, I want before I already mentioned that the 400 episode giveaway is still up. When that one's closed, I will probably then put up the 300 plus sales for my shop for those skeins. It's 2 that will go to Instagram and 2 that will go to our group. At least that's how I'm planning it right now. If I get scared off by Instagram, that might not happen. We'll see. Then I have, let's see here. I have some new skeins, okay? This first one is a DK weight. And it's 246 yards, 100 grams, 100% superwash merino wool. And this is Rose and Bloom.
And, reference back to our rant, which you didn't plan on referencing.
So this is Rose and Bloom.
You actually even know I was listening to 8 Cousins at the time when you named it.
This is Rose and Bloom. it is a reference to that book.
I don't think Davina ever liked it as much as you and I did. Because I'm sure she read it.
It's not silly enough. Davina likes comedy.
I think she likes Anne of...
She likes Anne of Green Gables.
Green Gables.
Yes.
But Anne does a lot of... makes a lot of mistakes that it can be quite...
Funny.
Funny, yeah. And she likes Little Women, I believe. Because she really likes...
Amy or Joe?
I think she likes both Amy and Joe. I think she might actually prefer Amy, though.
Yeah. So that's this one. And this next one is a tortoise versus hare colorway. You have to tell me if you like it, because I don't want to make more if you don't like it. This is rabbit.
Too bad you didn't have a picture of Rabbit to show.
Yeah, I forgot to do it. The gold is his body, the pink are his ears, and then the white for the
Let me see if I can pull
the
a
white
picture. First,
hat.
let me make my screen a little brighter.
a classic one, a classic picture.
Rabbit from Winnie the Pooh. Rabbit. Winnie the Pooh. There he is. Okay, images. Let me make sure I'm not on night view. Okay, good. Alrighty, so this one okay to show?
It needs to be a little darker, more like, let's see, maybe this one. Yeah, maybe that one.
This one?
Yeah.
It's not a particularly good picture, but
We get an idea, I guess.
there, that one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Oh, wait, go back. See, look at the colors here. Which one is closer to the colors?
Not this one.
I thought this one. Sorry, guys. This color was better, the combination, but
But it really doesn't.
there are several.
It depends on who the color is.
Who the colorist is. And if you prefer the other color, you can let me know as well.
But here's one. Well, here's one version of his coloring, and there's the other version. And then I think that's actually quite close.
Let me see here. If I can get a slightly bigger one.
Oh, well, here's a good one.
It's too bright for this. This is closer.
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
This is kind of what I was.
And that looks
going
like they
for.
actually took it from something.
Yeah, it's from the movie. You can see here. Can you see
Hang
it?
on, let me see if I can make it bigger. Let me.
Yeah. And it's it's close. That's what I was going for. Kind of that kind of a. So that's rabbit, and it's. Let's see here. I have two of these right now. This is. You can see that there's white and pink and gold in here. And these colors, except of course for the bare necessities in the middle, are developed colorways. They're not just out of the bottle. So, if you like this, let me know. If you don't, let me know that too. I won't make any more of
Because
it.
it's trying to give you some more fun options for bunnies.
Right, because there are plenty of turtle options, and I wanted to make sure there were some that were bunnies.
The funny thing is, these are similar to the year that we did the tortoise versus hare, and then you did the yellow. It was a color available for the oops, and then you had a pink color available for the oops. You remember that?
Vaguely. It's hard because I'm looking up.
It was for cardiac awareness.
Yeah, I wanted to be able to do both.
I think it was for cardiac awareness. Right. It wasn't for bunny, or I think it was No, because there was
It was
a yellow.
for both.
Yeah, it was it was yellow and pink.
Because they run at the same time.
Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure, and it's got enough pink in it to do cardiac and dysautonomia.
There must have been one for turtles that I can't remember.
I did turtles.
Yeah, I don't remember what it was.
I'm sure one of them had blue in it. But
Because I didn't use that. I did the yellow and the pink.
so these will be going in the shop. Please do give me your opinion about this. I like it, but we'll see if you if you prefer something else, or if you prefer the brighter version, which I don't like as much. I like the classic better, but let me see here. Classic from the movies, because I just feel like this is too something. I don't know.
It doesn't look like him.
It looks like...
I can see why you like the other one better.
So, maybe I'll put a poll up. If not, you can just tell me at the bottom. Something like this is another one that I really liked. This is close as well, with the gold and the pink. So
I think that is more like him.
Okay, so that's that. We still have in the shop, if you want to get it.
Mom's shop.
Yeah, in my shop, the kits.
And I think I have the links in the box below.
Right, we have a few more left. If you want to get them, a couple blue, a few of the red, for the mitts, the ladies' favorite mitts, and they will be eligible for double chances at a prize for dysautonomia cardiac.
Yes, because the colors are blue and red.
Because they're blue and red. So that...
And they're my pattern.
They're at her pattern. And
Mom's yarn.
My yarn. So you can get 3 chances at a prize. So, no pressure. I know that this is a rough time for people. I just want to make sure you're aware because it's only going to be available until June 31st.
Yeah.
June 30th?
30 days.
Whatever the last
April,
day.
June.
Yeah, 30 days of June. So once we hit July, then you can get the yarn and or pattern separately, but not the kit.
Yeah.
Okay? So just wanted to put that out there for you. You have about a little over 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Today's what, the 14th? So yeah, that's,
13th.
13th. So a little over 2 weeks. Okay, so that takes care of that.
Okay. For my shop news, first of all, I meant to put this up in the threads for testing. I had a really rough week, so I didn't. This will be going up for testing. Hopefully on Monday. That's the plan. Because I want to have the testing end. It'll probably end in the middle of the first month for tortoise versus hare. And then people can have it available to purchase the tortoises. So,
and the hare's already available.
Yeah, the hare's been available. As for, what else? There's that. Also up in the shop, I found in my shelves some, there were some PHN mugs and some Franciscan Gypsy Design mugs from when I had made mugs for people to purchase. When I closed my shop, I just put them in storage. So these are still good mugs. They're up in the shop now, available for sale, because I know not everybody got a chance to get to those before I closed the shop. I know we have a lot of new members since then.
Trying to see if I have.
You have that's tortoise versus hare, which I don't have.
Hair, yeah. I was hoping I had.
You probably actually have it in your
here
cabinet. Oh, you do. Oh.
Here is this is the Franciscan Gypsy Designs one.
Yeah.
I don't have the PHN one here. The PHN one looks like our here, Ty.
It's just our face. It's our logo. Yeah. So this is, you can tell this is an old Franciscan Gypsy Designs mug because this is back before I had half the designs I do now. I was only a crochet designer at that point, and half of my designs aren't even there. That's pre-Biddy even, I think.
So these are all I'll have to fix this later. The tortoise versus hare, the PHN one is just our little cartoon caricature, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's available.
So those are both. Did you knock something out of your bag?
I don't know where this comes.
But maybe from a blanket?
I don't know.
But yes, there's that in the shop. I told you about that. Possibly also soon, since Bolt Testers finished the bookmark, I'll probably release that early. The peace symbol bookmark. So, also hoping, I have a hope of the baby blanket I'm working on now. Well, not now. I'm obviously not currently working on baby blanket, but one of the baby blanket patterns I'm designing, I have hopes of that being available soon for testing. So, yes, there are things moving. It's just been, I haven't had the focus I want to put things up in a timely manner.
Right.
I did also want to mention thank you to people who did answer my poll. that I had about chart preference. I am taking your thoughts into account. Everything I think was split down the middle almost. So what I am going to, at least right now when charts are not, tend to be a little bigger, I might be providing 2 different forms of the chart. One that is in a landscape view that'll be a little bit bigger for people who maybe print out the patterns and want to be able to see it a little better, and they don't have the ability to, like you do on a device where you can just make it bigger.
Right.
But I also have a version that will be on a portrait, although I've made the margin smaller, so it can still be a little bit bigger. So I'm hoping that will help with visibility. And the charts will be clearly marked as portrait view and landscape view. So that way, it's not completely writing a whole new pattern. It's just providing options within the pattern, because I don't have the focus to try to upkeep 2 different patterns. I tried that when I first started, when I was trying to provide 2 different versions of the toy patterns, where one was really spaced out for people who had trouble reading really close patterns. And eventually I just went for the larger view, just because it was too hard to make sure I corrected everything. Okay, so that's for shop news. The only other thing I guess is life. Yeah, life. So we usually give people a way to slide out if they don't like life stuff.
If you don't want to stay for this, we understand. We hope to see you back here for the Fun in the Woman Cave. But before you leave, we want to thank.
I just wanted to make a point before you thank. The reason why we give people a chance to back out in the life stuff is usually we talk about health type stuff, or things like that, and I know we know that for some people this can be a bit of a trigger for them if they have anxiety related to health.
Or they just don't want to listen to it.
Or they just don't want to listen to it because they're not interested. So we do, just in case you're new and you're wondering why are you giving us a warning, that's why. Because not everyone wants or needs or can handle hearing health related stuff.
Right. So
or they don't want it mixed with their knitting.
Before you do take off, though, we want to make sure we thank people who might be watching who are YouTube or PHN commenters. We want to thank Pat, Ouija Woman, Brittany, Renna, Looney Hiker, Missy, Fiber Hermit, and Heather. Heather 296. Okay, I don't do last names on YouTube. I don't want to do that unless somebody says it's okay. So I just say thank you by your first names.
Yes.
We appreciate all comments of any kind that are nice. Please be nice. Thank you for being nice.
Thank you.
And we really appreciate that.
Not that we've had any problems with anyone.
No. You guys are awesome. So we want to thank you, and we hope to see you here if you're leaving, again, for the Fun in the Woman Cave. And now we'll slide right into life.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Okay. So, it has been a bit... Part of why nothing has been really updated is, like, I've been behind on putting up the test, or if people email me, I've been taking a little bit longer. This is actually a very rough week for me, symptom-wise. We had weather-threatening changes in barometric pressure. Friends of mine who have migraines were mentioning they were having migraines. And I did have a 2-day-long headache that knocked me out, as well as extreme fatigue. Monday I was out because I had a doctor's appointment. But I've had pretty bad symptoms most of the week. I am also doing, if you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, you might have seen that I'm, per my doctor, starting a brand new change. I am now gluten-free, dairy-free. So those are stash enhancements of a sort, because now everything I eat has changed. So just learning that. Thankfully, Plum Deluxe has on their website that they are completely gluten-free, dairy-free. They are awesome.
Yes, they are, but we already knew this.
Yes, we did.
Anne's gluten-free and dairy-free.
And this is...
She's ignoring me.
Awesomely gluten-free and dairy-free. This is a honey stroopwafel, which you just sort of set it on your hot tea, and it kind of... Or don't. But it's a little more chewy if you... because it's honey and water.
I love those. Those are amazing.
So, it's not vegan because it does have egg, but...
but you don't need to worry about that, though.
I don't, but in case someone does.
Right.
So yeah, it is a new lifestyle, and jumping into it because if it even helps the fatigue a smidge, I'll take it.
And the focus.
And focus, yeah. Because some people report that does help a bit with the brain fog and the fatigue. So I would kind of like a little bit relief with that. So that's why I've been kind of out of contact most of the week. I'm not sure if anyone really noticed, because for 2 days I was barely on any screens because screens are painful.
Right.
And focus wasn't there. But yeah. So that's life. That's yes, and that actually might be our cue to leave because
Call from Abigail.
yes. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
go ahead and head out.
All right. Just
Call from
give me a second.
Abigail.
Just give me a second so we don't have the bit message.
Okay.
Hello? Hey, Mom, can I call you back in 5 minutes? Okay, love you lots. Bye.
So we're gonna quickly end because and we are running late. Usually by 12 we're done.
Okay, so I want to thank you guys for joining us for the Fun in the Woman Cave. We hope to see you back here for all the fun. Next week, Saturday, hopefully, we'll be recording. This is the Pen, Hook, and Needles podcast, episode 406, and that's a wrap.
Bye.